Today I want to share with you a behind-the-scenes look from my webinar helping emerging entrepreneurs jumpstart their marketing. My name is James Callahan and I help you to rise from obscurity because there's nothing worse than being the best kept secret. If that's you, then here's a quick look at what you can do to find your best audience. This is a unique part of the Do-Over Show, giving you what you need to start over, find the life and opportunities you know are out there, but telling you the truth for your do-over instead of just another pep talk. So please tap the like button and let's get started. We're going to be talking a little bit about building a bigger community and communicating and connecting as you raise funding, as you begin to interact with people, hopefully in person. So what we'll do is go through some of what is unique to my approach. And what are you more afraid of, sharks or hippos? I want to know if you're afraid of the right things. Okay, now you're thinking of but most people, you're not normal. Well, most people when they see like a little baby or like baby Fiona at Cincinnati Zoo, they think, oh my gosh, hippos are so cute. I'm deathly. They don't have a hippo week. They have a shark week. And even though sharks kill between 5 and 10 people around the world annually on average, hippos kill over 500 people a year on the African continent. See, sometimes we're not afraid of the right things. So as a backdrop to what we're going to do for the next 45, 50 minutes together is to see what things we really should be afraid of and maybe get over our fear of things that really aren't that difficult. I want to set up a problem for you. So this book by Brendan Kane is a newer book, and he's trying to, this is the dude that got 1 million followers in 1 month on social media. He set a challenge and made it happen. So any of you got 1 million people connected with you on your mailing list? Nobody? I don't have 1 million, so don't feel bad. But he writes a book about how he works with people and tries to get them to figure out how to stand out. His argument is that you really get the first chance for somebody to look at you. You get about 3 seconds to get their attention. Like, you got to be trusted. You're not going to get that time. You don't even get 30 seconds. You get a hook. You get 3 seconds to get a hold of people's attention before they tune you out. So what you said something this morning that I remembered. Now, everybody has that, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's nothing. Come on. Go for it. Yes! She ate a meal prepared for her. It was guinea pig. That is the classic hook. But that kind of thing that will just get somebody, like all of a sudden their brain goes boom. Like if you look up meditation on YouTube, there are millions and millions of YouTubers that talk about meditation. The people who get noticed are not the gurus who sit around with the sitar music and everything moving gently and do a 90-minute meditation thing. Those are the kind of things you fall asleep to. The people who get attention on YouTube are the people who say meditation is a scam, or meditation doesn't work, or meditation sucks, or meditation ruined my life. Those are the people that get somebody to start listening. And now it's not clickbait because they actually go on to say, I tried it the way everybody else did and it didn't work, but I found a way. And then they go through it. It's one of the most phenomenal studies in YouTube, which is after Google, Google owns 1 and 2 of search engines. The most popular search engine obviously is Google worldwide. The second most popular is YouTube. But things like that are ways of getting a hook, and that can happen in 3 seconds. Like hooks that build this progressive depth of trust. So just because you get somebody to listen for 3 seconds doesn't mean you'll have them in a minute. And if you have them in a minute, it doesn't mean you'll have them in 2 minutes. So you're always looking to develop those hooks. And sometimes it's as simple as repeating the hook that you start. That gets people back to that starting point. And if somebody's nodding their head, they're like, yeah, that's important to me. That's them waving their hand saying, ask me for money. So here's the quote that can be a little bit intimidating. and that is there are 60 billion messages sent out in the digital platform each day, text, email, and social media. The average person has 11 hours a day interacting with digital media, video, audio, books on tape, things like that, newspapers, magazines, and scrolls through 300 feet of content. That kind of story of all those numbers gives most people a panic attack when it comes to, okay, how am I going to compete with that noise? What in the world am I going to do to get through to people? How are they going to listen to me? How am I going to stand out? I need to eat guinea pig. There's got to be something there for me to be able to do something with this. And let me give you an example. And here's what I'll always say. And this is the popular way that people in communications and messaging and fundraising will tell you today, is that you need a story. And by story, I don't mean something with a beginning, middle, and end. I don't mean tension and resolution. I don't mean necessarily a movie script. I mean something that is important enough to someone, to them, that they want to read it, or they see themselves reading it, or they feel themselves in the story, or they find something about themselves in the story by using the story. Here's an example. Most newsletters people share are all about them, which is why your mother is the only person who probably reads it, and mom probably lies when she says she reads the whole thing. Most newsletters are about us, but we're not the audience. We're not the reader. It's got to be news for them, which means it's got to be something important to them that they want to read, because I'm asking them to engage with something and to become part of this community, this larger-than-life community. So this is like the fortune cookie example. I have to admit, I actually like fortune cookies, but Bernadette Jiwa is a marketer in Australia who's a fantastic superstar of marketing and storytelling. She has this notion called the fortune cookie principle, and that is the cost or the intrinsic value of a fortune cookie is not what makes a fortune cookie special. It's the fortune, it's the social experience. And that's why restaurants give them to you at the end of a meal, because they want you to have a good experience and they want you to have this sort of community at a table. And even when you are eating Chinese food alone and you get a fortune cookie, they throw it in for free. It's not because the fortune cookie has any value intrinsically in itself, but it's the value to the reader. It's the value to how it creates community. It's the story that pulls you into, because it creates a social bond that people actually look forward to. It's your Happy Meal. It's the adult version of a Happy Meal with the toy. When a kid sees McDonald's, sees the Happy Meal, they don't think of the burger or the fries or the apples. Whoever ruined Happy Meals, thank you. But they look at it and they see a toy. And people go because toys are offered and the kid gets a meal. So the idea is that giving expresses identity. It expresses our best self, who we really are, or who we want to be. There's a marketer named Seth Godin. You might know about him if you just Google the name Seth, S-E-T-H. He's the first hit on Google that shows up. What giving does is it creates a community, or as he puts it, marketing in a sentence is this: people like us do things like this. So whether it's wearing a shirt with a name on it, a tote bag, or a Save the Whale sticker, or whether you're a whale that's saving, because you're a whale of a millionaire that's saving things, giving creates community. It makes me want to participate. And giving and receiving in the ancient world is how you showed who you really were. And you would give gifts and you would receive gifts with generosity. And by the way, receiving gifts takes generosity, not just the giving of the gifts. So, here's another little tip. I'll throw this in for free. If what you write sounds like a Wikipedia entry, people don't need you. Unless you give them access that they can't get otherwise, you're not necessary. Giving them information, giving them access to things that they don't have through Wikipedia. So next thing you write, if it sounds like a Wikipedia entry, or if you start quoting numbers like 12% of the population lives in poverty and 84% are illiterate, I don't need you. I can Google that and I can get it without having to pay $25 a month to have that connection. You got to give me something about what it feels like, what it smells like. So it's things like that, the ordinary things, the lesser things, the plain things that Wikipedia can't give. So you're not the hero of the story, you're their guide. So last time I was in Athens, I stood before the Acropolis and I had this great tour guide who didn't tell me about his children, what he had for lunch, what he's having a bad day or a good day. He told me about the Acropolis. That's what a good tour guide does. So you're the guide to people who aren't going to go to that part of the world, and you're going to be their conduit. You're going to open it up to them, which means your community is bigger than just your destination, your target community. Whether it's Seattle or Ecuador or Athens or Uzhgorod, your community is now going to be broad enough to include the givers, who they are. And your job is going to be to shrink the distance, visual demonstration here, shrink the distance between the giver and the person who benefits. And you're going to be the person who brings them together as close as possible. So connect with me on LinkedIn. I post just about every single day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. Yes, I'm on TikTok. Sorry, don't look at me on TikTok. It's not the same. I have a YouTube channel, but you get the idea. I want to put myself out there wherever people are looking so that whatever works for them, I will be there. And I will get them to raise their hand and say, I want to know something. So I do consulting on the side, and LinkedIn is obviously a resource for that. But it gets people to ask questions, all types of questions. I've helped a bakery startup. I've helped missionaries raise money. I've helped organizations. I've helped an international university with a scholarship program. I've helped presidential foundations, all because of brand trust built up. I hope this behind-the-scenes look at getting started in your marketing is helpful. If so, please tap the like button and subscribe. Thanks so much. Do you have anything after me today? No? Oh, dang. I better be good. It's sort of like the difference between a chicken and a pig at a bacon and egg breakfast. The chicken gives, the pig sacrifices. That was a dad joke. You're welcome for that. Okay, good.